What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Rich Nice back once again. So today we're going to figure out what it takes to make 950 horsepower. Probably a little more because we had an error on the dyno, but it is what it is. So to start off with, this is our 2015 Hellcat, aka Beast Mode. First we start off with the AFE Cold Air Intake. We have a 265 pulley. We have a 160 degree thermostat. We have 1100 cc injectors. We have E85. We have a Bwody heat exchanger down in there. We have dual 525 fuel pumps. We have catless mid pipes. We have a tune. We have idler pulleys. We pin the crank. So I think the only thing we have left is to put a overdrive pulley on here. But for right now, this is what we have. And I'll show you exactly what it costs when we get upstairs and get to the computer. So until then, y'all go ahead and watch this intro.
Dark side, light this bitch up.
All right, YouTube, we're back at the computer. Here's a list of all the mods we've done so far. Now, you don't have to do all of these, but you will have to do some of these. And the total cost was $6,000.69, so $6 grand. 265 upper pulley, you probably can get away with a 275 or even a 285. 1100 cc injectors. Idler pulleys you probably don't need, but they're just good safety features. When you're placing this one up here, might as well replace these two. Catless mid-light pipes. You don't have to really have catless. You can get high flow, something like that, but we just went for sound. Cold air intake. You will need race spark plugs. We need to have your computer locked by HP tuners. You don't have to have drag radials, but they just help you hook up better. So I suggest those. E85, the car already comes with it equipped. We don't have a sensor or anything to tell us how much ethanol is actually in the E85, which I'll show you when we look at the Audi. We built the Bwody heat exchanger in because the car had problems cooling off. We went with a 160 degree thermostat. You don't have to have 160, but you probably need a 180. We pinned the crank to keep the pulleys from slipping. You will need dual fuel pumps because you will run out of fuel. Fuel filter you really don't need. It's just added protection, especially you figure out how much this engine costs, and it's just a safety feature. Diff Brace, you do need some type of diff brace. This is the cheapest one we could find just for the time being, but we will be upgrading this to the DRIS one. Gives a more beefy back end. So, and then our third dyno pull was $200. Again, this is our third time, so we already had our stuff loaded in there, so it was really quick and easy to do. So this is your total right here. $6,000 is what it costs to make 850 horsepower. So we made 804 at the wheel. This is rear wheel right here, rear wheel. We made manual automatic transmission plus 5-speed because we got 8-speed. When you calculate that up, it comes out to 947 horsepower, so 950 horsepower. Because we made the errors, you'll see here in a minute when we go to Abel's. I think this car will make 850. I know it'll make 850 when we get regular E85 and we don't have the error in the dyno. That will come out to 1,000 horsepower at the wheel. I mean at the crank. So 850 at the wheel. So basically this is a 1,000 horsepower car. So without further ado, let's go talk about the E85 versus E50, and then we'll get into the dyno run at Abel's. Alright YouTube, we're talking about E85. Like I said, the Hellcat's over there is on E85, but when we did that third dyno pull to make 800 horsepower at the wheel, 950 at the crank, it was running on E50. And what I mean by that is this top number up here is the ethanol content that's in the gas on E85. So we're in Salina, which is our Audi. Salina has to have a filter and a kit, a sensor, all that good stuff, and that's what this is. And it just basically measures the content. Now you can buy some tubes and things like that off of Amazon where you can measure it yourself. You just put a little gas in there and it'll separate, and where it separates and so on and so forth. That'll tell you how much content you have in your E85, but this does that for us, so we don't have to worry about it. The Hellcat, on the other hand, does not have any sensor. It's just straight, you put whatever gas in and it accepts it. So, which is good for the winter time, because in here we have to change tunes and all that good stuff. With the Hellcat you don't. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about E85 and the ethanol content. So again, we were making E50 when we pulled that third dyno pull, and so now that the content's gone up, I think we should make probably around 850 at the wheel with that car, which is 1,000 horsepower. So just so you know. Just like that, folks, we're at Abel's. Sorry for the lights, but here she is. Gentlemen, here we go for the second dyno pull. $795 on the first one. 800. Alright YouTube, we made it back from the Abel's Racing second trip or third trip to the dyno. As you can see, we had a little error at the end, but we still made it 800 horsepower. I honestly think that we could make about 850 if we didn't have that error with the dyno. Also, if we were on real E85 and not the winter stuff. So this will require another trip back to the dyno. Next month, or either in May, once they start putting the summer E85 in, and then we'll go from there and see how much horsepower we'll make. But I think that we're actually at right around 1,000 horsepower at the crank, which is not too shabby considering the cost of a Demon 170 versus a stock Hellcat, putting maybe $6,000 in it and getting the same power and saving $140,000 on a Demon 170. So, as always, until we go back to the dyno again or on to the next project, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out. As you saw, the wifey wanted to go see what the dyno looks like, so I took her down there. She had a blast. She enjoyed it, so I think she'll go back with us next time. If you would, do me a favor, hit the bell, hit the like button, and subscribe. We're close to 800 subscribers on this channel, which is pretty good. Not as good as some other ones, but we're getting there. I know that a lot of people are watching the channel because the algorithm tells me that. And it tells me that they come back and they repeatedly watch it. So why don't you just go ahead and subscribe? You're going to be here anyway. So thank you again from the bottom of our heart. Appreciate it. Till we get to you next time, much love. Peace.